History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. I want to show you the most important chart, one of the best charts to take a look at the cycles for Bitcoin and to maybe determine when you want to sell some crypto, when we might bottom during the next bear market, and what's kind of in store for us throughout the rest of the bull run. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video. You can check out CoinW. You can get your account set up in just a few minutes. You can trade all different kinds of cryptos, hundreds of different options. And when you use the link underneath the video, you also get some sign-up bonuses, and you get access to a free trading group where they have professional traders that walk you through what they're doing in the market. They've been able to make a ton of gains. Like, this is literally their full-time job, is just to review the market, to look at different cryptos, and to get in and out of different trades, swing trading, so maybe a couple days to a week or two, and scalp trading, so they're day trading as well. But you can check out that link underneath the video as well. Definitely check out CoinW, but of course make sure you know what you're doing. Now, let's talk about the market. This is one of the most beautiful charts that's ever been created. This is the 4-year cycle spiral chart, Bitcoin spiral chart. This is from the Rational Root on Twitter. Give him lots of props. He created this. Basically, time moves around in a circle. Each ring is the 4-year cycle. Oftentimes we see 4-year cycle in Bitcoin, where we have the Bitcoin halving. Then about 4 years later, we have another Bitcoin halving and another. And what we've been able to see is that bottoms and tops happen often very close together. But you don't really notice that unless you put it around in a circle like this. It's much more obvious here. So again, just follow with me. As you get further out, the price gets higher. Hopefully you're watching this video instead of just listening to it. But as you go out, each ring is an order of magnitude different. So $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, and each quadrant is 1 year. So what do you notice? Okay, we start back in 2009. Time goes around. So we have the first halving back in about 2013, right at the end of 2012, I believe, but we'll call it 2013. We hit all-time highs for about a year, then fell down. The market bottom was about 1 year after the last all-time high. Then about a year later, we had another Bitcoin halving. We go to 2017 at this point. We start hitting new all-time highs throughout 2017. We top at the very end of 2017. We go about a year to the bottom. Then about another year before the Bitcoin halving. And then we start hitting all-time highs around 2020, the end of 2020, the beginning of 2021. We hit all-time highs for about a year again. Okay, that's really interesting. It lasts about a year every time we hit all-time highs, 9 months to a year. And then we go another year before the bottom, then another year before the halving. And then we actually hit all-time highs early this year. But you can see it's somewhat similar to the last cycle. Like, it's at the end of 2020, the end of 2024. This last fourth of the year, we're starting to hit all-time highs. So you would expect, if it's anything like similar cycles, or like the last 3 cycles, we would hit new all-time highs throughout the year next year, and then peak out somewhere towards the end of the year, maybe halfway through the year, because we hit, or not halfway, but 3/4 of the way through the year, 3/4 of the way through this quadrant, because it would be about a year after we started hitting all-time highs. Then about a year after that, we'd hit the bottom. I think that would kind of make sense for a bottom as well. If people are saying, hey, right around 2027 we'll hit a bottom, it wouldn't surprise me if it hit a bottom before that, because that kind of marks no one wanted to buy because they wanted to buy a little bit later, but then we hit a bottom before retail could really get in, or people that thought they're outsmarting the market. So we actually recover a little bit earlier than people expect. People get caught off guard. We hit the next halving. Maybe we start hitting all-time highs faster. But that's all assuming that we don't have a super cycle, right? We could just continue to hit all-time highs, maybe take small dips, 10, 20, 30, 40% dips, then hit a new all-time high and continuously see that. It could be like the end of this perfect repeat of history. because we have these nation states that are thinking about buying or considering buying. We have large entities, large companies buying. I do think there's going to be some cyclicality to it. We're definitely going to see crashes in the future as well. We always will see dips because all markets dip just based on sentiment and the economy. So I still think that's bound to happen, but that could happen. But let's get back to the cycle theory. So if we see something similar to what we've seen in the past, we'll probably see a number of all-time highs hit in 2025 for various reasons. Large buyers, central banks adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. We'll probably continue to see that. And if we see something that we've seen similar to what we've seen similarly in the past, we'd expect to hit all-time highs, maybe the top of the market, towards the later half of the year. Since we hit all-time highs a little bit sooner this cycle than the last, and definitely earlier than the two cycles before that, 2013 and 2017, don't be surprised if we were to get all-time highs earlier in 2025 and hit the all-time, like the peak of the market a little bit earlier than even last cycle. So you might be looking at something like September compared to November of 2021. Now, summer months are usually pretty dull. Like if you just look at all the past cycles, we did not hit an all-time high towards the middle of summer, right? People are on vacation. People aren't paying attention to the markets. Usually spring and fall/winter, the better times for crypto. So with that in mind, it might be hard to sneak in a final all-time high unless, I don't know, maybe we go up to 140, then dip back down to 108 or 100 or something like that in the first half of the year. And then people start to think we're going to see another really high peak and we go up to like 145, 150, and then we dump down. The thing is, typically the markets don't do what you expect. If they did, everyone would get out perfectly and sell at the perfect time and everyone would make profit, but that's not how it can work. You can't have everyone selling in the profit, because when there's someone selling in the profit, there's also someone buying that are buying the tops. Also, there are going to be people that dump on the market and force the price down, assuming we still get 4-year cycles. But this kind of gives you an idea for the timing of this next year. A lot of people will be looking at getting out in the second half of 2025, or maybe getting out in the first half of 2025. Like, people will be antsy because of what's happened in the past, unless there's some change in narrative, which I'm already seeing that a bit right now. Now, over the last week or so, the markets have been a little bit scared because of the dip that we've seen, like the 16% dip. But if there's a change in narrative where people think that this is going to be a super cycle, we might get that top pushed out a little bit further. Even if we don't get a super cycle, I can see people wanting to buy later in this year. And who knows? If there are nations that are buying, depending on how much they buy, we could get this even elongated. We could see this break down. So who knows? But this is typically what's happened. So if you want to look at this and position yourself saying, hey, I want to sell all my crypto by, the 3/4 mark of next year. Maybe you want to set sells for the next 9 months or something like that and just dollar cost average out of the market. I know there are people doing that. That's something that I'm going to be doing with some of my altcoins, but you can position yourself based on this 4-year cycle chart. It's not the only thing you should be looking at, but it can give you a good indication for what we've done in the past, which might influence what you want to do in the future. Of course, do your own due diligence. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts on this. Again, you can check out CoinW underneath the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.